Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube channel, Facebook page, and X page as well. My name is Ryan McGinley. Thank you very much for joining me on this pre-match show. It's just me this afternoon. Tony's still away on holiday. I was going to say sunning it up, but he's not really in Dublin. He'll be back later on in the week, but it's just me previewing today's game against Livingston. And as you can see on the screen just to the right of me, you can see what Brendan Rodgers has went with for this game. He's got Joe Hart in goals, a back four of Greg Taylor, Liam Scales, Stephen Welsh and Alistair Johnson, a midfield three of Tomoki Iwata, Paulo Bernardo and Matt O'Reilly, and a front three of Maeda, Ida and Kuhn. So, yeah, a couple of changes in this team. Kuhn's back in the team as well, alongside Adam Ida's up front. Daizen Maeda's playing on the left-hand side as usual. I was thinking maybe somebody like maybe James Forrest could have came into the team, or somebody else, but he's went with Maeda today, who's set to make his 100th appearance for Celtic. If I could just read through the subs are Scott Bain, Gustav Lagerbielke, Kyogo Furuhashi, Odin Holm, Hyungwoo Oh, Rocco Vata, Daniel Kelly, James Forrest, and Anthony Ralston. So thank you everybody for joining us. Vata is on the bench. So I'll just go into the sponsor. This video, as always, is sponsored by MPH Group. All of their links will be in the description. If you're looking for plumbing, heating, kitchens, or bathroom work, then look no further than MPH Group. All of those links, as I said, will be in the description. And if you want to subscribe, if you want to support us just that little bit more and subscribe to the website, you can do so by going to www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe and by pressing the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. I mean, you get notifications when we go live with pre-match, post-match, morning briefings and pre-recorded videos as well. So yeah, guys, get your comments in for score predictions about what you're feeling about the game so far. Let me just go through a couple of them. Hazel Finn's coming in as always. I know she's always in the comments. I really do appreciate it. Well done, Ryan. Afternoon. Hazel then comes back in and says CCV not even on the bench. I worry. Not really heard from Brendan Rodgers as of yet. So the reason why Carter-Vickers isn't on the bench, but you would hope that that's precautionary and it's not another injury. Such an important player for Celtic. He's going to be from now until the end of the season. That's if he's fit. If he's not fit, he can't play, obviously. But it's not ideal. It's another change into that back line that looked as if it was stabilising. You knew who was going to be playing in that back line. There's no place for Mike Nawrowski. I'm guessing he's still injured as well. Lagerbielke is still on the bench, so a big chance for Stephen Welsh to stake yet another claim this season. He's been in and out of the squad, but alongside Liam Scales, who's an ever present in that defence, it looks as if it'll be Welsh and Scales. You know, you wouldn't have said that was going to be a back four earlier on in the season or even last season as well, but these things change. Injuries happen, and those are the two that they're going with. Alan Robertson, absolutely. It's a massive game for Kuhn today. I think that's probably the biggest, not the biggest shock, but the biggest story coming out of this, apart from maybe Kyogo being on the bench and Carter-Vickers being out. Kuhn's been trusted on this right-hand side. We've only seen a deflected goal from him thus far in his Celtic career against Aberdeen to get that equaliser. But apart from that, I think he's flattered to deceive. He's not really showing a lot, in all honesty. It's been flashes, maybe one or two things, but then a lot of times he's giving away the ball. He looks as if he struggles to beat his man. He's basically not the player that the Austrian experts that were telling us beforehand that he was, this player with electrifying pace. He can change all that today with a great performance. You know, Yang's out for the next two games. He'll serve this game and then he'll serve the next game and he'll be back in, hopefully, for Livingston, which it'll be Livingston away, the final game before Celtic take on Rangers at Ibrox. But yeah, this is a big chance for him today. He's got to show why Celtic have paid £3 million for him. There's people talking about him saying that he may be more effective on the left or on the right. I'd like to see, regardless what side he plays on, left, right, plays as a number 10, even as a striker, as long as you're playing him in his correct position and he can benefit the team, then I'm all for that. Everybody's saying the same. Raymond says, surely O would give you more than Kuhn. It's good to see O on the bench. I wonder if he'll actually get some game time, though, with Kyogo being on there as well. It's a bit of an interesting one. What are your guys' thoughts on Kyogo being out of this game? Obviously, he's on the bench, so he can come on if there's an injury or if Celtic are struggling in the game. But what's your opinion on the fact that Ida's leading the line up top? Tony, I know, was talking about the fact that he wanted to see a formational change, maybe a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2 and play two strikers up front. But it seems it'll be a 4-4-3. I know that looks like a 4-2-3-1, but it'll be a 4-4-3, and Maeda and Kuhn will be playing as basically forwards but wingers at the same time. Damien Moore comes in and asks, does it go to penalties or a replay? It'll get played to a finish today, go to extra time if both teams are leading, if both teams are drawn alongside each other after 90 minutes, another half an hour, and then penalties to decide the winner. Francis Lester saying, what's wrong with CCV? We're not sure yet. We've not heard from Brendan Rodgers. He might actually be speaking as I'm on this, so somebody that's maybe listening to him can tell me what is the prognosis for Cameron Carter-Vickers. What is his problem, and why is he not in the team? We would obviously much rather have him in the team than out the team, especially at this point of the season. There's plenty of comments. Thank you to everybody that's joined me. 360 people. I'm doing this on my own. Your comments are really helping me keep this going. Palma injured. Yes, that's absolutely true. I think he had a slight knock and he was touch and go for this game at the weekend. Seems as if he hasn't pulled through, and it's Maeda that's taking his spot with the likes of Forrest that can come on. Vata can come on. He can play off the left. Kyogo can also play off the left. So there are options on that side, but I think this would have been a good game for Palma to come on and maybe start the game and get some confidence going into the business end of the season. I mean, we're already in the business end of the season, but to get back into the sort of levels he was shown beforehand. I know his performances were up and down, but he had a lot of goals and a lot of assists. He was Celtic's top contributor alongside Matt O'Reilly in the first half of the season. His season's tailed off a bit. Injuries don't help that, but today would have been a great opportunity for him. But it's up to Maeda. 100th appearance for the club today. That's an incredible going. It just shows you how injury-free Maeda has been. He's had a couple of injuries here and there. He had that injury when he gets sent off against Atletico Madrid. But the fact that he's been virtually ever-present since he signed from Yokohama F. Marinos in 2022, it just shows you how reliable he's been. I know he flatters to deceive in a lot of games, and he can maybe do things that are quite questionable. You're like, has he ever touched the ball before? But he's so important, and he brings that tempo and that mentality and that never say die attitude, that we never stop attitude that Ange sort of drilled into his players, that's still present in some of the players as well. Let me have a wee look at some of the comments. Smell the glove. I totally agree with you. Please tell me CCV has just been rested or our league fight is over. I don't know if it'll be over, but I think he'll play a massive part into where the destination of the title and the Scottish Cup are going this season. I think Celtic just look a far better side with Cameron Carter-Vickers in there. He's the safety net. He's the safety blanket. He doesn't. There are less goals that are conceded when Carter-Vickers is in that squad than when he isn't. So he's such a cool, calm, and collected customer at the back, and I think everybody benefits from that. But you would expect Celtic coming up against a struggling team in Livingston this afternoon. I know it's a cup game, but you've got to take the league form into consideration as well. They're bottom of the league. I think they're 6 or 7 points from safety, or 6 or 7 points from the relegations, the playoff spot. So they're a team that are struggling this season. They might see this as a free hit. They might come out and attack. But as Liam Scales said on Friday, he probably sees them sitting in, and then maybe hitting on the counter-attack late on if the game is still tight between the two sides. Thank you once again to everybody that's joining me. That's an absolutely incredible number of people, especially for just me that's on. Thank you for not leaving the stream. Really do appreciate it. People are saying, bring back Mikey Johnson, all is forgiven. I think he scored. At least that's what my phone was telling me, that he scored for West Brom this afternoon. It just goes to show you that there is a player there, and that's clear. I know Tony's not his biggest fan when he plays for Celtic, but at the same time, there's clearly talent there in the player, and he's getting it at he's getting it under Carlos Corberán at West Brom at the Hawthorns. So all the best to him. Hopefully he keeps on doing what he's doing, and either he gets a good fee for Celtic in the summer, or he comes back and becomes a Celtic player, because he's shown that he can do that in a better league. The Championship's a better league than the Scottish Premiership. He's shown that he can do it week on week. He's scoring goals week after week, and he's proven that he can be a professional footballer, and a good one at that too. So all the best to him. Hopefully he can keep that going. He's got 2. My goodness, I didn't even know that. It's just I seen all the notifications come up at once. I was like, maybe he scored twice, and that does seem to be the case. That's incredible. Tony, right now, Ross, he is in Dublin just now. I've seen the photos. He looks like he's having an absolute whale of a time. He will be back later on this week. I think he'll be back on the Wednesday show. So, look out for him. He's enjoying some well-deserved time off in Dublin. So hopefully he's enjoying himself. He looks like he is. Marquis says, could be a good team depending on what Celtic show up. I think that is the case. I think that's the main thing for Celtic this season, and it has been for the duration of this campaign. What Celtic turn up, because if the good Celtic turn up, you see what happens on Wednesday. Celtic scored 7 goals, could have been a lot more on that game in all honesty, but they were so devastating in front of goal. Or the other Celtic can turn up that we've seen against St Johnstone, that we've seen against Hearts twice this season, Hibs away from home this season. The only team that Celtic have really been consistent against is Rangers, which is quite ironic, but it's those other games that have been costing them, and Kilmarnock away from home as well in the League Cup, the easy surrendering of Celtic's League Cup title. So yeah, if the good Celtic turn up, as we know that they've got in their locker, then I think they'll be okay today. But if they don't, then there's a game on in Livingston. They've been in positions like this before where they have to just keep it tight. I know it's not been their season this season whatsoever. It seems as if their sort of budget and their squad has caught up with them. But they've got dangerous players in their team, and any team on any given day can hurt Celtic if Celtic aren't playing to their optimum strength. Tony's in the wardrobe. No, he's quite far away from the wardrobe. Everybody's telling me in the comments that he's got 2 goals today. I know. He'll probably score more now that you've said that. If anything does change in that game, please let me know and I'll bring it up. 420 somewhere says, need a solid win today, no messing about. Absolutely, it's knockout football, and Celtic need to go and do what is required of them this afternoon. A semi-final place beckons. They've got Aberdeen have already booked a place. They're already looking for a new manager because Neil Warnock stepped down yesterday. I would assume that's due to the fact that a new manager is very close to being agreed and appointed. So that's Aberdeen in the hat for the next round. You've got Celtic and Livingston playing today. You've got Rangers and Hibs playing at Easter Road today, and then it's Morton Hearts on Monday. So it's all about Celtic getting in that hat for the next round. A place at Hampden awaits the winner of this tie. So if they need any sort of motivation or anything to sort of strive towards, look at the fact that it's a chance to get to Hampden for the first time this season. Disappointing that they didn't get there in the League Cup, but they know what they've got to do. They've got to win a home game against a struggling Livingston side. I know they could hurt Celtic at any given moment, but at the same time, Celtic have got the players. It's a strong team, and they should be able to do what is required of them. No, Hamish is in it. Yeah, I think Hamish will be up for this game, but he's not on the pre or post match shows, so it's just me that's doing that. He's just been subbed, people are saying. So thank you. It became a bit of a West Ham podcast for about 5-10 minutes there. So apologies or welcome to any Baggies fans that are watching. I don't think they will be. I think they'll be too busy watching their team. But at the same time, 2 goals. That's some going for Mikey Johnson. He is tearing it up down there, and all the best to him with whatever he does next. Whether he comes back to the club and as a star as he has been down south, or if Celtic sell him on to West Brom or bigger, there could be other teams that are interested in him, then so be it. But it's a very positive place for Mikey Johnson to be in. His stock's very high at the moment, and hopefully he does that from now until the end of the season. I think we should talk about Bernardo as well. The fact that he's been brought back into the side. It's his first start in quite a while. I'm trying to think between the. In fact, he might have played against. In fact, he played against Hearts in the last game. What am I saying? That he did have a start. He got taken off quite early on in that game. Was sacrificed. I think it was for Daniel Kelly early on in the second half of that game. He's maybe a player that can feel hard done by today. Daniel Kelly. He could have been one of the players that was brought in. It's obviously a big spot to fill, considering the fact that Callum McGregor is injured at the moment. Not sure what the prognosis is going to be for him. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. You need the captain in and around the team. It's up for Bernardo to get another opportunity. From now until the end of the season, he's playing for a permanent deal. If he does want to join the club, if he wants to really bust a gut for a permanent contract, then these are the games that he's got to show up and be counted for. It was actually this game, this fixture in the Premiership that he sort of made his breakthrough into the team, because that was right after the Hearts game. I think a lot of people were feeling down after that game, and Bernardo came in and really made a a telling impact. So another chance for him today. I know a lot of people aren't maybe the biggest fan of him or what he brings to the team. I think we would all probably wish it was Hatate that was in that team, but he's still injured. He's still probably about a month or so from returning. So Bernardo knows what he has to do. Maybe get on the score sheet, maybe make an assist, but be strong, be compact in that midfield and make things happen from the engine room. So many comments. Every time I scroll down, there seems to be more and more comments. I really do appreciate it. Blake is on the bets this afternoon. He says he's put Ida, Kyogo and O'Reilly to score today. Hopefully it's Kyogo coming off the bench when the game is won and he can get a couple of goals as well. Let me have a wee look at some... So there's so many comments here. I want to get all your score predictions in. Yeah, that's probably the best next thing to ask for. Please get your score predictions into the comment section. I'll try and read out as many as I can. Score predictions and first goal scorer. For me, I think that Celtic have got to show a response. It feels as if they've been showing a response for a lot of games this season, but that's been because of the up and down mentality and sort of roller coaster of this season. So it's up to them to show what they've got, show what they're capable of, and get into that semi-final. 4-0 Celtic, says Blake. 1-0 says Smell the Glove after seeing that team. Alan Robertson says 3-0. Ultra Wido, love the name, says 3-0. So there's plenty of clean sheets on the go here. 3-0 says Des Harkin, Ida's first goal. He scored his first Celtic goal at Celtic Park last week against Dundee in that 7-1 hammering. But we want to see more from him today. We want to see him maybe score with his feet today. It's all about that next accomplishment. He scored with his head. He scored away from home. He scored at home. Let's see a strike. Let's see if he gets a penalty, who's going to take that? Is it going to be Ida that's going to be trusted to take that penalty? Is it going to be maybe Matt O'Reilly? I thought Matt O'Reilly would have been on him earlier on in the season, just given the player's technique and his ability to strike a ball. Craig says, struggling for confidence with that starting 11. I'll take anyone, to be honest. I am the same, Craig. Anyone will do today. It sounds like an alternate version of Joseph Technicolor Dreamcoat. Anyone will do. Patricia Martin comes in and says 4-0 to Celtic, I hope. Ida early and often, says Dundas. Montgomery, 5-0 to the boys. 6-0 to the Hoops, says Simon Savage. 3-1 says Hazel. Adam Ida to score the first goal. There's so many comments here. I really do appreciate it. Christopher Patterson says, I hope they've practiced penalties. Me too. That penalty from Adam Ida at last weekend, I was at Tynecastle with Tony, and it was a bit of a shocker, to be honest. It was one of those ones that he put it down the middle, but there was no power in it. There was no conviction, and Xander Clark was able to just save quite easily with his feet, just due to the height of him. He's a very tall goalkeeper, so he was able to jump to the left, but even put his feet out as well and make that save. It wasn't a great one. Smell the Glove, you're showing your confidence and optimism. Who is missing the penalty today? Don't want to hear that whatsoever. Want Celtic to be scoring penalties from now until the end of the season. CCV, people are asking, no, he's out with I'm hoping it's a rest, but if it's another injury, then that's a big problem. And I mean, how many times has Cameron Carter-Vickers been injured this season already? There must be about 3, 4, 5 times now. That's a concern. Celtic have just signed him up to a new deal, a new 5-year deal. Is there maybe a reason behind that? Have they signed him up to a new deal because they know that they've maybe got him for longer than expected because of his injury problems? They seem to be piling up more and more week on week, or whenever he comes back, and then it's either one step forward and about 3 or 4 steps behind because he's injured. Can't really get any sort of steam ahead of him. I'm just hoping it's a rest today and nothing more. Because if it isn't, then you'd be panicking at that back line from now until the end of the season. I'm sure Tony will be watching today. Simon says, are we on through Facebook instead of YouTube? We're on all three. We're on Facebook, YouTube and X, which was formerly known as Twitter until Elon Musk changed it. But we're on all three of those. So wherever you are on social media wise, we're basically live. And if you could please press subscribe button on that YouTube button or just below this video, it would really help us. We are well on our way to getting to 10,000 subscribers. The growth over the past 2-3 months due to Hamish joining, but due to, I think, maybe the content's improving as well. there's been such an increase in people joining. You know, the stream figures are really good. The viewing figures are great. That Brendan Rodgers video that we put out from his press conference, I think it's hit about 40,000 views, which is absolutely incredible. And we really do appreciate everybody's support. We know it won't all be Celtic fans that are watching that, just due to the nature of the content and what Brendan Rodgers was saying that seems to have landed them in hot water with the SFA. But it was really good for the channel, and we really do appreciate your support. They're saying, Des is saying it's got to be the Temple Bar. If there's anywhere I'm not going in Dublin, it's the Temple Bar. It's absolutely extortionate. There's another couple of bars just across the road that are much cheaper. I know that for a fact. Steve Kelly comes in with his team saying 4-0 today, and Adam Ida hat-trick. What's my score prediction, says Craig? It all depends on what Celtic turn up, to be honest with you. If the right Celtic come along and play the way that Brendan Rodgers probably wants them to play and the way that the supporters want to watch Celtic play, then I think it could be a 4 or 5-0 today. You know, a player like Kuhn needs to get into the swing of things of playing for Celtic. You know, he's had his acclimatisation period. Now is the game to start scoring goals, making assists and make things happen. The good thing for him is that he's broke his duck already. He scored against Aberdeen, made that telling impact in his second game. I think he came on against Ross County, but his second game against Aberdeen he scored. So it's up to him. He needs to make an impact. But players like Adam Ida need to make an impact as well. But if they can all be playing their best stuff, then, you know, anything can happen. Any scoreline could happen today. It's all about Celtic getting that feel-good factor in and putting some pressure on as well. You know, a lot of teams will be wanting Celtic to be put out today because they'll be one of the more difficult teams to face in the semi-finals, or one of the two most difficult teams to face in the semi-finals. One of the teams you probably want to avoid. Those other teams probably want Celtic and Rangers to meet up in the semi-final, so that one of them's eliminated for the final if they do get there as well. But yeah, it's all in Celtic's hands today. If Celtic play the way that we know that they can play, then I think they'll be absolutely fine today. But if they go anywhere near, if they drop off any way, then that might give Livingston confidence, and in turn means that they can get in the game. They can maybe get a goal, a couple of chances, and really put the cat amongst the pigeons. Mick comes in and says 5-0 to the boys. Hail, hail. Optimistic, love it. Always, I've got to be the eternal optimist regardless. I'm always the optimist. The captain today, Ron asks, I think the captain will be Joe Hart today, because Cameron Carter-Vickers is the vice captain and he's not in the team whatsoever. So you're looking towards the next sort of senior member of the team. Potentially Taylor as well. Taylor could probably take the captain's armband. But I'm just thinking in terms of longevity of his career, I think it'll be Joe Hart today, which is absolutely fine. You know, he's well on his way. You know, Brendan Rodgers was talking about the fact that it's going to be Sorry, guys. It just cut off there for a wee second. Yeah, I was talking about Joe Hart and the fact that it's going to be so difficult for Celtic to replace a player like Joe Hart, both on the pitch and off it. Brendan Rodgers was making that point last night in his comments that came out. I think it was this morning. He was talking about how difficult it's going to be to replace that said player. But yeah, that's the objective. Celtic also need a head of recruitment in the summer as well, so you would hope that gets sorted before identifying a new goalkeeper. And if that's the case, then they'll be able to identify a goalkeeper because they're in the job, they're in there, and they're settled. Sorry for any connection issues that happened. We've got 643 people watching, which is absolutely incredible, especially for the one person doing this. And this is only working because you guys are putting in all the comments and making your thoughts heard, putting your team predictions out, putting your lineup predictions and your score predictions as well. Not lineup predictions, you obviously know the lineup, but the score predictions too. Really, really do appreciate it. Maeda's not been good recently. That is true. He has been up and down with his form at the moment, but it's up to Maeda. You know, 100 appearances. I think I've said that about 3 or 4 times already in this 25-minute podcast. But yeah, 100 appearances. Let's hope he can mark that with a goal. Any other final predictions, guys, before I turn this off? I realise I've been going for 24, 25 minutes now, and I'll need to walk along get my seat for the game. But if you've got any more predictions, any more first goal scorers, then please get it in the comment section. Emmett says, thanks, Ryan. Keep up the great work, lad. I really do appreciate that. Love it says he expects a lot of slow passing along our defensive line as Welsh is playing. Welsh is actually quite good with the ball at his feet. Maybe the speed isn't so good, but he's one of the better contributors with the ball at his feet in terms of giving it to forward players. I know he likes giving it to Scales, and Scales likes to give it back to Welsh. That maybe wouldn't have happened under Ange Postecoglou, but it's Brendan Rodgers. He likes the pair, so I'm all good with that. Ron Boy says O'Reilly to step up. He actually has stepped up over the past couple of games. Although Celtic got beaten the last game against Hearts, he was one of the better players in the park. He was trying to make things happen. I think he had something like 6 key passes in the game, so he was very much he was very much busy and involved. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, today. I really appreciate you all joining today's show. We were on to about 663 people. As always, this video was brought to you by MPH Group. For plumbing, heating, kitchens and bathroom work, look no further than MPH Group. I will put all of their links in the description at the end of this video. If you enjoy what we do and you'd like to subscribe and help us that bit more, please go to www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. £4 for 4 months or £18 for a full year. You'll be supporting top quality football journalism covering the club you love, which is Celtic. Please press that or please go to that link and subscribe, and you will get the best content that Celtic media has to offer, or Celtic based media has to offer rather. Please press that subscribe button. I will be here after the game to dissect the game, or hopefully you guys will be as well. I will see you after the game. But yeah, enjoy, and hopefully Celtic go through to the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. Cheers.